that must necessarily lead us into a new era of renewal and hope. I'm here once again because I believe deeply in the need to restore our cherished values of service, sacrifice, and selflessness back into our party. I envision a Ghana that is economically robust, resilient, fiscally responsible, socially cohesive, and fully accountable to the citizen.
The addiction factor is real. We are going to do what people never imagined will happen in this country. A young man who grew up literally on a cocoa farm with uneducated parents became the minister for education when his parents were not educated. That is what I believe is the Ghanaian dream. Opportunity for every youth who is listening to me today, every child listening to me today, for you to know that your better days are ahead of you and not behind you. Do not
My supporters, north to south, east to west, must shy away from comments and commentary that smears individuals and ultimately affects the fortunes of our party.
To win in 2028, we must not just talk unity, we must live it. The repeated attacks by our own party folks on one another is absolutely unhelpful. What we say against each other, the NDC will use against us in 2028.
I am pleading with you to vote for Canadian Japan, because in the bus, truck bus, truck, wherever you go, market, Ghanaians are crying for Canadian Japan to leave this country. So don't listen to anybody who will come and intimidate you because of his own selfishness.
3FM 92.7 Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.
Our MP for Akwatia, who passed away recently, and for all the others who have lost their lives in the service of our great party.
FM 92.7 Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.
Peace. Let me start by expressing my most profound gratitude to those of you here and those watching from across the country for joining me as we embark on this journey, not for myself, but for our nation and our party. It is with a deep sense of purpose that I announce formally my bid to be retained as the flag bearer of the new patriotic party for the 2028 general elections. I offer myself for a second time to bear the flag of the MPP into this election after having listened extensively to the demands of the party and the nation. Since 1947, our forebears have played the most impactful role in Ghana's history. Whenever it has mattered the most, we have been at the forefront of providing leadership and showing the character that has ignited passion and energy among the people of Ghana. From the days of Dankwa, Dombo, Buzia, Bafo Akoto, Edward Akufo-Addo, our tradition demonstrated deep intellect during the fight for independence. The traits of selflessness and humility were evident in the genes of patriots. In the days of Victor Usu, we demonstrated respect for all persons. And in the days of Edibuahim, we showed the spirit of courage, rising up to the challenge of oppressors' rule. In the days of Kufuor, we showed emotional intelligence and the spirit of inclusion. And in the days of Akufo-Addo, we showed foresight and resilience. The MPP and Ghana are demanding for a leader who embodies the values of this tradition. Deep intellect, humility, respect for all persons, unity, courage, foresight, and resilience.
Urban Lifestyle
Dear
Radio
citizens,
Station.
as the MPP is looking for a leader who embodies the character of this party's tradition and the values of our forebears, I, Mahamudu Bawumia, offer myself to lead the party for the 2028 elections. Because I have the integrity, the competence, the compassion, the humility, and the values not only required to lead the party, but to lead the country. This election is an election not only for Flagbearer of our party, but it is an election for the soul of this party. The choice we make on January 31st will determine whether or not this party will hold on to the values that make us great or become a new party focused on deepening the chasm between the rich and the poor. I am offering myself to be elected as flag bearer because I believe we owe a duty to this party to give her a choice to put forward the most prepared candidate for the 2028 election and the most prepared person to be president in 2029. In the last 16 years, I've had the privilege of joining each and every constituency at least 5 times to work hard on the ground and campaign and work for the MPP. Just like the thousands of you who may not have had all the money in the world to throw at the party, all my sweat, my reputation, my knowledge, and my person have been dedicated to working with you for the success of the party. As a result of this, there is no village or hamlet or city or town where Mahamudu Bawumia's face and name are not known. I owe this party a duty that if we are to win 2028, we ought not to start afresh from zero. Instead, we ought to build on the nearly 42% of valid votes and work across and work to cross the 50% mark in the next election. I have also had the distinct privilege of serving as vice president and supporting the president and the government in our last administration with ideas that have significantly impacted the lives of millions of our people. This is what the streets refer to as being rich in ideas. The initiatives I advocated for in our time today are making impact in people's lives. The rich, innovative, and practical ideas that I successfully championed and saw to implementation include the Bank of Ghana's Gold Purchase Program, the first in Africa, the Gold for Oil Program, the first in Africa, the accelerated issuance of the Ghana card, mobile money interoperability, the first in Africa, the Ghana Digital Property Address System, the first in Africa, Agenda 111, one constituency, one ambulance, the Zipline drone delivery service, the largest in the world, the universal QR code payment system, the no, which is the first in Africa, the no guarantor student loans, Ghana.gov, the Citizens app, NHIS registration and renewal on your mobile phone, the rental assistance scheme, the Zongo Development Fund, individualized credit scoring, paperless ports, electric buses, e-gates at Kotoka International Airport, and the digitalization of medical records across all district, regional, and teaching hospitals in Ghana, amongst others. The implementation of these practical policy initiatives has resulted in many people saying that I have been the most effective vice president in Ghana's history. This implies that given the opportunity, I can equally become one of the most effective presidents in Ghana as we go forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I demonstrate my strength by getting results, not by making noise, or by insulting, or by bragging about money. The combined effect of how well Bawumia is known today and my experience as vice president make me the most prepared person for the MPP's quest for the 2028 election and governance in 2029. Fellow Kukudites, in the words of Kofi Abrefa-Bruzia, the qualification to be a success in Ghana's politics includes a large capacity to stomach all sorts of attacks. I am not oblivious to the fact that the NDC and lately elements within our own family subject me to daily attacks. In fact, I expect that there will be more attacks in the coming months and years. But I have learned, if I have learned anything from history, it includes the fact that a man must be formidable so that no matter the adversity, he stands tall, focused, and resolute. All that can be held at me have already been attacked. As the days are going by, time has shown great vindication. The Bank of Ghana, the IMF, and even the NDC kingpins are now admitting on many matters that Bawumia was right. What more can they say about me now? In our history, when all has been said of a candidate and yet he remains standing, victory is the logical next step that awaits him.
(26 after 8), and that was a playback there of some voices. Yesterday at the party headquarters, I'm talking about the New Patriotic Party, and there's a release here dated August 28, 2025. It's an update on the filing of nominations for the New Patriotic Party presidential primary. Now, the Presidential Election Committee of the New Patriotic Party, NPP, wishes to inform all stakeholders that as of Thursday, August 28, 2025, 5 aspirants who earlier picked up nomination forms have duly filed their completed forms with the committee. The aspirants are as follows: Engineer Kwabena Ejay Ejapong, Honorable Ken Ohene Ejapong, Honorable Dr. Brian Echampong. We also have His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, as well as Honorable Dr. Yao Osei Educhum. The release goes on to say it will be recalled that on Tuesday, July 29th, 2025, the General Secretary, on behalf of the National Council, officially opened nominations for party members desirous of contesting to become the party's presidential candidate. The committee assures all stakeholders of its commitment to a transparent, credible, and fair process guided by the party's constitution and regulations to ensure the integrity of the process. The presidential primary will be held on Saturday, January 31st, 2026. And it is signed by William Yamwa, Secretary of the Presidential Elections. It's really heating up. Sixtus, you were expecting it. I wasn't so sure.
The man has shown determination. He's shown zeal. He's shown
determination.
Of course.
Why are you stressing?
I'll be very honest. I also not expecting him to see through the process. I didn't think, initially when the intent came, I was like, okay. But he's followed through means he actually wants to be present, and so I'll give him that. I mean, I have a right to be surprised he had the intent.
I'm with
the man declared. In fact,
Indeed.
He was on one of the early birds.
People have declared and didn't decide
to pick the form
and didn't pick forms or picked forms and decided not to file. And so there is that. Adainimo as well.
So is this your doubt based on maybe you think he doesn't have enough following in the party, his constituency within the party?
If you want to do something like this, there are a number of things you want to consider about how well you can do in the race.
Right.
You understand?
Don't tell me you're already ruling out the man.
No, I'm asking genuine questions.
Okay.
Allow the man to die before you bury him.
How well you can do in the race. What is the intent of your decision to want to contest? Because some people go into this wanting to not test the waters, but make their presence known and felt for future of such. But perhaps
so it's a preemptive filing, just to let you know that
exactly
I'm going to be here.
That's the perspective from which I saw his intent, but it looks like he's actually gunning and in because all of these individuals strongly supported the ticket of Dr. Bawumia as well, and so to suddenly see them, because it's roughly a year since the elections was determined and the NPP lost, now to see some of these individuals now wanting to go the full throttle and challenge him. Then
it is only a fool who doesn't change his mind.
Gentlemen, I do want to ask a question, and I want us to take it rewind it just a few steps back before we look at the individuals who have put their hats in their ring. The NPP says that they are conducting this flag-bearership race fairly early. I think we've all concluded that this is quite an early process, come January 31st, 2026, because they believe that they require that leader, figurehead, that everybody can rally behind, and that will help mobilize the party, maybe change the psychology, bring about some restructuring, some rebooting. But given what we've seen so far, is this still the best idea, or should they actually really pause this process and do something different? Because from what I see, this idea that come January, if we go to the polls and elect a flag bearer, it will unite the party. Hey, NPP, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
You see, let me tell you something. What the party is doing now gives you an indication that the party leadership is weak. What the party is doing now. If you look at the MPP right from when it was formed in the early 90s up until now, what the party is doing now, doing what they call a top-bottom approach. It shows a weak leadership. Weak leadership because the party chairman is not at post as we speak. It took his family to come and announce that the man is not well. He is not resigning for somebody to fill the slot, but he will be away on sick leave at such a critical time.
But they have someone in acting capacity.
Yes.
I'm just making a point that
very competent man actually.
I'm not doubting his I'm not doubting his I'm not doubting his competence. I'm just saying that it took the family of the man who is chairman of the party, who tried for 5 times until he got his slot, to not stuff. We want him off. The man himself could not speak on his own. That's one. Now, if the leader of the party is not the one who can speak up for himself, but he takes his family to say,
committed, even to the detriment of his health.
Play
his
your
family.
devil's advocate. It's okay. It's okay. Now, Justin Kodua Frimpong is supposed to be the general secretary of the party, or is the general secretary of the party, and the CEO of the party. The party is supposed to be in his hands. Not so long ago, we had a Blekuma North rerun, election rerun. He held a press conference and told everybody that
It's not going to be
as a party, we will not contest because we won the elections, and that we will not go anywhere.
He said this is an illegal election.
What did the candidate of the MPP, who is subservient to the general secretary, do? 3, the party indicated earlier, per its constitutional provision, that anybody who jumps ship, who says this or that, we will sack everybody. Then, few days before this, the party says, we are giving everybody and there's a breathy. Look, I can go on and on and on and tell you. Look, Kwabena J. Japan, Mr. Sami Crab, Paul Afoko, these are not small boys in the MPP. These are people who on their own have built their lives. People who have a following. People who have influenced people who are respected within the party. The party suspended them without blinking an eye and never bothered to give them amnesty. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you compare the leadership of the party from back in the day and you compare the leadership of the party now. You weigh them, and if you want to measure them against their opponents, the party leadership now is weak. If you like, let's go head to head.
Right.
Chairman to chairman. Vice chairman to vice chairman. The vice chairman that pushed the microphone away.
Alaji.
Compare him to the third vice chairman of the NDC.
Okay, so now you want to step out of the MPP and juxtapose against their
because all of what is happening is going to be a contest against somebody, presumptively the NDC.
Okay.
Now, if look at assistant secretary to assistant secretary, look at youth organizer to youth organizer. If you measure the thing, look at general secretary to general secretary. The optics don't look good. So this is not the time to cover up with an early presidential primary to make it look like we are trying.
You are saying we should look at General Mosquito against Stephen Ntim.
The obvious is there.
Look at Fifi Kwete against
Justin
JFK.
Yes.
Look at Nanabi against Pablo.
Yes.
Nanabi against Yamin.
Yamin, yes. Sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
Against Yamin.
Salam
against Mustafa Salam against Pablo.
Right. Look at Sami James against
Ahiagba.
Look, the optics don't look good. And the best way to solve it is for the party to have returned to the principles and the values that formed the party. The MPP party is known to be democratic. So, if you are picking a flag bearer from the top, would you now come and pick your national executives after? Will you now come and pick your regional executives after? Then you come down to your constituency executive and to your polling station, The process should have started that way. Then you build the kind of interest that you're looking for. What the party is doing now, it shows that there's no leadership. The party literally is headless. There's no leadership. And it tells in everything they do. It's showing all across. It's showing all across. So look, I gave an example of Mr. Richard Ahiagba and some of the comments he made regarding the inclusion of the military in election security duties. And I go back to the many examples off the top of my head. Many examples. Ayawa's West Wogon. Many examples. Election registration in 2020. Name them. Ododo, Ablekuma Central, where the 8 people were shot in the Techiman area.
Right.
Look, so many of them. He kept quiet over all of those things. Now, if you want to make the party look attractive after that humiliating defeat in 2024, you don't hurriedly go and pick a presidential candidate, so to speak, to come and whitewash everything that has
You
been
don't think that argument holds water? That if we get a flag bearer, we get everybody to rally behind us?
You see, all the 5 people who have put themselves up, as Mawena said earlier, were people who were so strong and firm in their minds that Dr. Bawumia was the man.
Maybe.
Will they not do the same if that happens?
I'm coming. No. So how are they going to re-engineer the conversation? There were people who sat in this studio as Bawumia loyalists. Today they have switched camp. 8 months on, what changed?
In re-engineering that conversation, it's already sparked concerns.
So the point is that you cannot make up your mind. And so imagine that Ghanaians had voted for the MPP in 2024. 8 months down the line, there will be the internal bickering that we'll never get to know about. So we will be here as citizens assuming that we are being governed, we are paying our taxes and we are being governed, and then our country is supposed to be moving in a certain direction. But there will be internal bickering. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I'm saying that how to solve that problem is not to go and hurriedly whitewash anybody, whether Dr. Bawumia, Kwabena Japan, Dr. Duchum, or Kennedy Japan, or anybody to come and put out there as flag bearer. Yesterday was so embarrassing. Some of the guys, whether rented, real, or perceived, who came to the place, were in MPP paraphernalia and shouting a Yezu. I'm looking for that video. I'll share with you. Now, if it tells you a certain story.
What story?
A story that the people who are diehard people, you should go on social media and read some of the mud they are throwing at each other. I can understand that. Look, people will contest, people would say things, but the mud that they are throwing at each other and the confirmations that they are giving to things that we said, that they said, oh, it's wrong, you are anti-MPP. They are saying it themselves. Those who are...
So a catalogue of what we're seeing sins of this person, sins of that person.
Yes. Now, Dr. Bawumia is giving us, for example, a plethora of things that he would do when he comes. But these were things that were rejected. He presented those things in 2024.
Indeed.
Were they not rejected?
Resoundingly.
Now let's look at the profile of the people in there. Kennedy Japan was touted as the man who had a deep pocket, who was the Central Regional champion, He was bringing the votes from Central Region, etc. What was the MPP's performance in the Central Region? The worst ever. Osaya Educhum, Minister for Education, everybody said, hey, free SHS, we have improved the numbers and access, this quality. You know all these conversations.
Indeed.
What did the students front vote? How did the student front vote?
First time voters.
First time, how did they vote?
A chunk of them.
The free SHS beneficiaries, how did they vote? Then you go to Engineer Kwabena Japan, who came at his campaign launch to tell us that the government ran out of the Jubilee House with energy and went back on a stretcher. He told us that. Then we saw him later following Kennedy, Dr. Bawumia. Is that principle? Is that principle? Then you talk about Brian Echampo. We will not hand over power. A Greek minister fighting Buffer stop people. Today fighting this one. Today making this beating war down. Blah, 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 blah. Today he wants everybody to believe his calm. Is that principle? What was the MPP's performance in their own Eastern region, which is a stronghold? What was the performance? Measure that against any electoral record from 1992 or since 1992. Then Dr. Bawumia in his own backyard, me, tell me, vote for me, all those commentary that were made, put a Christian here, religion, a Muslim here, I want to unite them, and one of you vote for me, if you vote for the other guy, all of those ones. What did he bring to the table? So I'm saying that the panacea to the disgrace and shame that the MPP has now, again, is to go back to the principles and values that underpin the party. It is not about self-seeking, glory to become flag bearer of the NPP. It is to go back to the grassroots and ask for apology and beg them and try and get them to be committed again. But I am friends with a lot of MPP people.
Really?
Grassroots people. They are my best friends. I can name them. My best friends. Not just at the top. I'm talking grassroots people. Which constituency will you mention? Okarikwe South, Okarikwe North, Okarikwe Central, Ablekuma North.
What's the word on the street?
The word on the street is that some of the people who were committed, I know people who would be diehard MPP people who would work and take part of their salary and support their party. Now when the party van is passing around, they don't care. They are buying their kelewele. In Bubuashi, they are buying their pork. Go and check the MPP office itself at Bubuashi Station. Go and check how dormant the place has been. That office used to be very, very busy.
Vibrant.
I used to buy rice there. There used to be a rice seller in front of that place. I used to buy rice there. Now that office has become dormant. But there's an immediate past member of parliament of that constituency. There's supposed to be a father of the constituency in Mr. Medatha. Do they see eye to eye? So if a stronghold like Okarikwe South has now been taken over by the NDC for the first time since 1992, right? Or since 1996, sorry. And the MPP is not worried about it. They are not disturbed. Their interest is that, let's pick a flag bearer. You have a problem. But
somebody who, and let me introduce into the conversation. Somebody who was nodding in agreement when we talked about rice in Bubuashi. I think he's familiar with that particular rice. Solomon.
I say we all the chop some.
Is a leading member, Movement for Change. He's been teasing us since the year started, soon to become a party. We're watching this space very keenly, but that's a discussion for another day. Solomon, good to see you, Akwaba. You've been in town not for too long now.
Not for too long now. And good morning to my co-panelists and yourself and your listeners. This morning, you and Mona have already done the job, so there's no job.
There is still a lot to discuss. Let me also mention that we'll have security expert Emmanuel Kutin also joining us on the phone. He was meant to be in studio, but he says he will join us via telephone. We'll also pick his thoughts on some of the recent happenings. Yesterday, your former party headquarters was very vibrant indeed, if I can use that word. We know that we have 5 individuals now who have officially filed their nomination forms with the committee in charge of elections. Any surprises there with the candidates who have now formally thrown their hat in the ring?
Yeah, very surprised that the 4 candidates, apart from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, will file, because as Engineer Adenimo puts it, this is a process that has been skewed to favor one particular candidate. So why would I go and invest 4.6 million into it? And I'm very surprised Kwabena Japan did that. He actually paid 4.6 million, even what Adenimo is saying is anything to go by. That Adichum will go and pay 4.6 when you know that you're not going to make anything serious out of the outcome. So I was surprised. I thought they would allow him to go the top-down approach that right from the beginning they decided to institute to favor Bawumia. They will allow he himself to go and face the music, because there is nothing that's going to change in 2028. 2028, the MPP will sink further. It's a party that has pressed the destructive button, and there is no way turning back. The supporters that you saw there, these are rented crowd.
Rented crowd.
And that is why he was telling you, someone was shouting there. He even forgot that he was wearing MPP party shirt. You get my point. And that is what happens when everything about you is fake. You must have organic supporters. Why the rush? You went into election 2024, you were beaten. The reasonable thing to do is to do a thorough investigation as to what caused that massive defeat. That has not been done, because the so-called report that they claim they did, which Professor Michael Quay says they will never release to anybody, including the party members, they never did any thorough work. People
how do you come by that assessment that it wasn't a thorough assessment of what had transpired in the last elections?
Within the MPP, the breadbasket of the parties is the Ashanti region.
That's right.
Now, so any report that comes from the Ashanti region is a representative of what the true position of the party is.
That's the heartbeat of the party.
That's the heartbeat of the party. You saw the leaked report from the Ashanti. At least we know that. Now, in that leaked report, which was championed by Chimensa and then went to be both loyalists of Bawumia, you read the report carefully, it creates an impression that people sat in their rooms and said, look, let's write a report that will point out our future competitors, dirty them. They didn't do any grassroots work. They accused Kennedy Japan, accused Alan Chemantin, accused anybody that thought that, oh, we can use them as a punching bag, so that they whitewash Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who was the captain of the team. If that was anything to go by, then what report were you expecting? There is nothing that they did. They just sat somewhere. And that is why quickly they said, let's go and do top-down approach, get a Flagbearer, and then run with it.
Now, that approach has been widely criticized. The party, well, at this point, has decided to forge ahead. The date is January 31st, 2026. Their minds have been made up. Now, one reason that has been put forth for why Dr. Bawumia should be presented or represented as their candidate is that, one, he is already widely marketed. That's been what I keep hearing from his camp, and that he can build on this 41% vote that he got, that it forms a good foundation. And that also, if you look at some of the interventions that he, had as a vice president, he can build on that. You heard him yesterday on the platform. He says that Ghanaians are touting his achievements as game changers. That is what we are benefiting from now in 2025. How do those arguments sit for you as far as marketing Dr. Bawumia is concerned?
When I listened to yesterday, I couldn't laugh. I realized that he was so prepared to, he was prepared to get less than 15% election 2024. What were we doing? See, if you say you have been marketed, I don't know whether, you were around in 2005, 2006, thereof. Atai was very popular than President Kufuor.
Atai, the killer?
Yes, he was very popular than President Kufuor in the entire country.
That's right.
So they didn't mean that we had to, any political party should have gone to see Atai, present him as their candidate to win an election. You could be popular for the wrong reasons and popular for the right reasons. Unfortunately for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, he is popular for the wrong reasons. And so if you say you have been bucketed and you are popular, what sort of popularity are we dealing with, positive or negative? You asked a certain vice president, Emisata, 170 questions. If I were him, I would begin my political renewal with answering those questions. Once you're able to deal constructively with those questions, then we know you are serious. He was the same person. And yesterday he made a certain statement, and I'm very surprised at this one. I've not heard the other candidates taking him on. That the elections of 31st is about the soul of the MPP. You do know the soul of the MPP?
You want to use his time that he spent in the party against him? Is it because he's a newcomer or more relatively
He
new?
has never had any clue about the MPP. So when we are talking about soul of the MPP, how do you represent the soul of the MPP? Well, lies. Gogo says you are the chief liar in the world. Is that what the soul of the MPP represents? Look, he looked straight into you and our faces and said, when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. We agreed with that statement. Then when he got the opportunity to lead this country, he came back and told us, look, but it is wild logic to conclude that when the exchange rate is depreciating, means the fundamentals are weak. How can we trust such a person? Now, one of the sins, now they have turned into a sinners party, so we can continue on that tangent. One of the sins he has been accused of is inflating the e-gate at the airport by $240 million. I saw it from the Brian's camp. Yesterday, I heard him say that one of his achievements is to have done the e-gate. Now, here is a case you are being accused of having shortchanged the country to that magnitude, and you are claiming credit. By the way, were you know in this country that he told us that he was just a mere mate?
That's right.
And that we should give him the steer.
He said he didn't have the full opportunity to really put forth his ideas, his policies, what he really wanted from other Ghana.
Is it why we shouldn't take him serious? Now, yesterday, he enumerated more than 10 achievements. So how did he do that as a mate? When he wants to deceive the minds of the people, he comes out with wild allegations. And who is praising him for anything that he has done?
He said Ghanaians are really giving him credit.
Who is that Ghanaians? Am I a Togolese? Helen, I am not giving him any credit. Look, gold for oil. He was talking about gold for Bank of Ghana's gold purchase. That was not what he was making noise about. He brought us the gold for oil. Now, but the Bank of Ghana's own financial statement says that we lost 1.82 billion out of that gold for oil. So how can you be given any credit? But why didn't he pride himself with his own program, which was the NAPCO, Nation Builders Corp, that we are spending more than 2 billion? As we speak, some of the young ones have not been paid.
That's right.
How can you, as a sitting vice president, students, people that have gone through the tertiary institutions, their parents have spent more money. Now hostel fees are how much? So much expensive. Then you say after finishing school, you just go to GRA here and they will pay you 700. That was demeaning. Who survives in this country with 700 cedis? But he carefully ran away from that program. You get my point. So for me, he is just trying to lead the party into destruction, which he would achieve it, because I don't see how come any of the other candidates will win. In fact, this is going to be a rigged election. It's a rigged process, as Adenmo has said, and that he will not invest 4.6 million into such a rigged venture.
Solomon, let me pause you there very quickly. When you talk about a rigged election, I want us to expand on that in due course. Let me also introduce into the conversation Emmanuel Kutin. He's the Executive Director, African Center for Security and Counter-Terrorism. Emmanuel, good morning to you.
My dear Helen, good morning, and very good morning to my co-panelists, especially my brother Solomon, and to the good people of Ghana.
We were expecting you in the studio, but that's fine. We'll have the conversation via phone. I want to pick your initial thoughts on the happenings yesterday at the New Patriotic Party's headquarters. We know that 5 individuals now have officially put their hats in the ring. Tell us your thoughts.
In fact, I think MPP must get its acts right. They are behaving like the syndrome of dog bite dog, and that by itself has a tendency to destroy the party. In any functioning democracy, we need a very vibrant opposition. And at the moment, MPP is the main opposition party in our democracy. And if you look at events, they are more or less government in waiting. They must remember that their inactions or actions will make Ghanaians give them the mandate to come back to power again. But the way things are going, it's not looking too good at all for the Elephant family. And I dare say that if there's not a U-turn, things are not going to work well. Because I don't believe that the MPP should suffer a decline at this moment. Otherwise, it will enter into the head of the ruling government, and we, the citizens, may not benefit from what we are meant to benefit from. Because if you look at the absolute majority of the NDC, if you listen to your colleague, Captain Smart, he was kind of complaining about how Ghanaians have started complaining about the governance style of the NDC. And it should be a wake-up call to the NDC. At the moment, they are enjoying the goodwill of the Ghanaian people. And that is not absolute, and that will not be forever. As to who did what, who didn't do what, within the MPP fraternity looking to leading the party, I think it's immaterial here. They should go on the tandem of the leader regulation of their party. And it's just a few people who are voting, the regional constituency and polling station executives. They should take their messages to the grassroots and stop the kind of propaganda they are doing and name calling and insults they are doing. It doesn't project the Elephant family in the right direction.
Certainly. Now, Throughout this process, and I think you've also alluded to it, this sort of mudslinging that we're seeing. Now we have a catalogue of sins. This camp has put together the sins of this candidate. Another camp has another communicate out about the sins of another candidate. How dangerous is that for the party, especially projecting into the future? Come 2028, many have said that this is simply going to be used as ammunition by the opposition party. What should the leadership then of the party be doing to put a stop to it? Or as it turns now, do you say that it's a moving train with no brakes?
Well, I have a novel counter argument to this. Yes, it could present missiles for the opposition party to use against the elephant family. But that will also depend on how this government is going to prosecute and kind of restrict stolen funds from the previous government. Let me be frank and blunt here. NDC should not go by the disillusion that Ghanaian people love them and gave them this overwhelming majority. The Ghanaian people gave them this majority for a purpose, and that is accountability. Because the alleged corruption and malfeasance in the past government was just way too much. And you realize that after the initial arrest by Yoko and other things, everything has gone quiet. I don't know if you heard about Edubuahini's case. I understand he has won part 1 against the Attorney General.
There have been some interesting updates in that particular case that we're following keenly, but I follow what you're saying.
Yes. So you see, and there are even allegations that Edubuahini gave the current government $500,000 US. So if this current government is not able to prosecute people who were accused of corruption in the former government, I can assure you that the overwhelming majority will just dissipate into thin air. And NPP can make a serious comeback in 2028. Look at the Galamsey fight, the kind of things we said about the previous government, the kind of promises this government gave. What is the state of our Galamsey fight today? So these are the things Ghanaians voted for. They voted for change. But unfortunately, it's looking as if that change is eluding us. And my dear Helen, you know me, I will always say it as it is, because my fidelity is to the state and not to individuals or any political party.
Thank you for that, Emmanuel. Hold on for me. Let me come back in studio and engage Solomon further. I also have Johnny Hughes in the studio. We're discussing the happenings yesterday. 5 individuals now officially declaring their wish to become the flag bearer of the new Patriotic Party. Solomon, we're talking about this process being rigged. And after that, I want us to take a quick look at some of the other candidates. And then Emmanuel has given us, he's opened up the conversation to oral. I know it's something that you have been passionately talking about, the optics of this, what some will describe as a stalled oral project, and how that is in some quarters causing the confidence of Ghanaians to dwindle as far as the NDC's capabilities in demanding accountability from the past government. You talk about a rigged election for Bawumia, in favor of Bawumia, Dr. Bawumia. Yesterday, I was listening to Kwesi Kwarteng, and he is in the Kennedy Japan camp. He talks about the official social media handle of the New Patriotic Party only streaming the nomination process of Dr. Bawumia. And I think for most people, they agree that, well, that's some kind of bias then. It's either you stream the process for each candidate that comes and picks up the form, or you stream it for nobody. Certainly, you can't begrudge person's this notion that this entire process, it's only to pick Dr. Bawumia. So for those who have actually thrown their hat in the ring, it seems like a waste of money, as you have alluded to.
Yes, you couldn't have captured it better. That's why I was very surprised to see the other 4 filed to go and just invest 4.6 million into something that you already know the outcome. The whole thing has been skewed in favor of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Come to think of it, almost 200,000 delegates that elected him in the last elections. I said that they are going to do the voting count 31st of January. The additions that they are talking about, the expanded version, the total amount of it will not even lead to 6,000. So what it means is that he has to score people within the delegate system, the album. And those core people, if you take any of the albums, more than half are ghosts. If you have ever been with the MPP, I have been a coordinator before.
They are ghosts.
Ghost names. They just put names there. You understand? So, for instance, you go to Kakwe South, you pick the delegates album, you could have Helen Johnnie. There is no picture there. When election is coming, then they just go and look for somebody, a waysider, get ID card in the name of Helen Johnnie on the day, go and vote for this man. That's it.
This actually happens.
It happened. I fought it when I was in there. That was one of the reasons why I had problems with Ahmed Atta. I was always in court with him. That look, you may think you are doing something to favor yourself, but you are destroying the party. Because if you look at the polling station system, what it's supposed to do is that each polling station is supposed to have 5 executives. Now, just like any church, when a new member comes to that vicinity, it is the duty of the polling station executives to go and sell or market the party's ideas and principles to the person to join the party. But if you go and put in the ghost names, it means that responsibility or functions will not be happening. And that is why the party has been weakened at the base. So what is happening is that on election day, and those that were behind the creation of the album are predominantly Bawumia loyalists. And if, I said, they gave them a teaser, recently held National Delegates Conference or so, they even prevented the other camps from entering the stadium. They went and brought their own people to just come and hero worship Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, create the impression that he was a man that has already been chosen. And if you listen to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia carefully yesterday, he spoke as though he was already, what's the name, the candidate for the party. He alone was given the opportunity to create his canopies at the party headquarters. Handles were used to showcase. He said, I mean, what sort of life is this? Yet we are preaching unity. There is nothing unity about what took place yesterday and what has happened to all the other aspirants, except that they are unable to speak. Someone like Kennedy Japan in 2023, when Alan Chamantin and our supporters were speaking against some of these ills, he told us that, oh, you are not man enough. You will fight it. There are certain things you don't fight with the brand, you fight with the brain. The people have already rigged the process from the base. Go and deal with it from the base. Don't tackle it from the top. You are only fighting a losing battle. There is no way Bawumia and his people are going to lose this election. They will win, and this time they will be rigged more to create the impression that more of the supporters of the MPP loves him. And that will be the beginning to the end. Because after the primaries, those that saw the rigging will not forgive the party. Already some have just given the indication that they're only waiting for the outcome. After the outcome, then they will jump ship. They will not have anything.
What is going to happen then come 2026, January 31st, if what you're saying is correct, when all the machinations have been put together to propel Dr. Bawumia and he's declared the flag bearer? What do you think is going to happen? Is that going to be the beginning of more deterioration of the party?
Oh, yes. A lot of people will leave the party because there will be no need to continue to be in the party. And I can assure you that with Bawumia leading the MPP, they will lose heavily in 2028. What new is he bringing on board? What new? What haven't we heard from him? Is it the lectures of stabilizing the city? Or becoming a digital person who is in government or what? He is bringing nothing new on board. The only thing he's relying on is that, I don't know where they are getting this thing from, that in 2028, there will be a new candidate from the NDC. He has toured all the villages in this country, forgetting that there will also be Alan Chamantin on the ballot. So there is nothing new on the ballot. But the main reasons why people voted against the MPP was not because of you as Bawumia not being fit or so. It is because your government did not perform. You were in this country, issues of galamsey, and that is why Emmanuel was alluding to.
That's right.
Issues of unemployment. You understand? Issues of corruption. Daylight robbery of the state. How can we go and take 750 million to do Konongo bypass, to do Insawam Road, to do Swami interchange, to do Apega session, and then the money is finished, road is not constructed. And you think that the Ghanaian will forget easily because we have short memories? It's not going to happen. How would we forget the hole? This hole is still there. This one is evidential. Anytime you pass there, you see it.
$94 million US dollars.
I mean, you have a president who is traveling long distances to chase for 100 million. We had that money, and Bamu Bami and Nana Akufo decided to dig a hole with it. So people will not easily forget. And the youth of today, they are wide awake. They will teach you the bitterest lesson. And so for me, when I see him doing some of this jangling, I look at it as maybe there is money somewhere that if he is the flag bearer, it will enable him to bring and then better his life. Either than that, if it is for the people of this country to, within 4 years, change their minds about a particular candidate, then he's gotten it wrong.
Emmanuel says that if this particular government doesn't ramp up the oral efforts, we're going to see a lot of disaffection, which could possibly in turn propel the NPP. Whether that means that it will really put them where they want to be come 2028, I'm not sure. But that if we don't see some oral action, people could begin to change their minds. Do you think that it's too premature for that conversation?
No, it is what it is. I mean, this government must not take itself that with the promise they gave the people of this country, if they were going to shirk their responsibilities, they will not suffer the same fate. And that is why our political party is coming. Helen, maybe by next week you hear a different news. We are coming up very strongly.
By next week, I'm writing this down.
No, you hear a different story. I'm not giving you a definition. By next week you hear. But the political party, there is no doubt about this. The truth of the matter is that so much has been stolen. Don't let anybody come and deceive you with this semantics that we are investigating. They have stolen the money. It is with them. And they are flaunting it in our faces. And you have a government in place who are in bed with them. I don't know. Look.
Solomon, you say you are seeing collusion.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
To what scale?
1 to 10 is 9.
Surely not.
And that is why the youth of the parties are not happy with their leadership. You promised the people of data. We can't. It's money we are talking about. So if they are unable to deal with it, loyalty will shift. Between the two political parties, none of them have a database of more than 500,000. That's what they don't know.
The NPP talks about some 3 million.
They have never gotten any 3 million, Helen. NPP's delegate system is about 200,000 people. If you go and check those that have party cards, they are not more than 500,000.
And so, of course, that somebody voted for you does not make them a member.
Doesn't make the person
Those are two
a member
different
of your
things.
party. Doesn't make. You see, Ghanaians are floating voters, and that is why you need that credible third eye. If you go and present yourself, well, they will vote for you, and it is the reason why independent candidates win at the various parliamentary seats.
Right.
Because they go and present credible message to the constituents, and they win. So the NDC, and for that matter, President Mahama, must make sure that he deals decisively. He alone cannot do it. That's why he has appointed his lieutenants. The Attorney General must be up and doing so that we see the closure of some of these cases. It's so annoying. What has happened to Wontumi? He went there once, he came back. Now he's telling us that he's going to be the national chairman of the MPP.
That's conversation quite strongly. Emmanuel, let me just quickly run through the aspirants who've picked up their forms and completed the process with the NPP's election committee. Kennedy Japon's tagline is "Get Connected." He says, "Get connected." What do you make of that and make of what has transpired so far? He says he's the people's choice and that the people of Ghana are crying for Kennedy Japan to take over the reins of the country. It appears that he's probably the closest candidate to Dr. Bawumia in terms of possibly taking over as flag bearer.
Absolutely. You are right, my dear Ellen. If you look at the hashtag the Ken team is using, it's resonating with the youth. And if you look at the voter population in this country, most of us are the youth. And don't forget, in the last primaries, who would have thought Kennedy would get the kind of votes he got when all the machinations were done in favor of the vice president at the time? So here is the catch, and people are not looking. And the Bawumia team have to work extra hard. If they become complacent, Kennedy can surprise them. Because the Kennedy votes remains intact. And Komna Japan work with Dr. Bawumia. Now he's coming to take some of Bawumia's votes. And then you look at Brian Achampong coming in. In the last election, Bawumia won the entire Eastern region, hands down. This time, the Eastern region is not going to disappoint Brian Achampong at all, because he's the bankroller of the party in the region. It's just like in the 5 northern regions are standing by Bawumia thick and thin. You understand? So the Bawumia team don't have to be complacent. They have to reach out. Where I saw the cracks was the previous elections where Bawumia emerged as the winner, and we did this kind of surface peace building or smoking of a pipe or a sword, but it didn't transcend deep into the facets of the party. And most of the people who supported Ken or the suspected to have supported Ken were silent even in the main election. These people are still standing by, and they are even getting more of the voters for Ken. Now, I just want to digress a bit to what my good friend Solomon said about the party scheming in favor of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Right.
That is true. But it's not an MPP problem. It's a national problem. You remember His Excellency John Dramani Mahama when he came back? Most of the executives went for him. So what does it tell us about our fledgling democracy? I think the parties need to put strategies in place internally to safeguard their electoral processes, to make it robust and deterrent enough so that we don't get the recurrence of some of these things. You will see former appointees so gray-haired trying to be at the front stage. For what? Because they want to catch the eye of the candidate. In the event that he wins, they can place those pictures and say how much I supported you, so because of that, I must be given something. That is the political patronage that is killing our democracy. So now, to the candidates, I think each of them come with its own strength. If you look at Komna Japan, you read through his policies, excellent, except that the young man doesn't have money to prosecute his agenda. If you look at Ken is loved by the grassroots, but there are so many allegations around him, whether proven or otherwise. That is entirely up to the Ghanaian people. But Ken is a reminder of Donald Trump in the U.S. So if those people would think they are politically correct to lead a party and eventually lead a country and do what is right for all manners of Ghanaians, are not living up to expectations, we could have what we had in the U.S., where people vote for Kennedy Ohene Ajapan. And truth be told, leadership has not got any kind of formula. It's whom the people like. If you come to Brian Achampong, you remember in the days in government when he said MPP was never going to hand over power.
Indeed.
I'm sure by now he'll be revising his notes to understand that the people's power is more than any other thing on this earth. And when you are given an opportunity to lead, it's a privilege. The power he said he was not going to hand over today, was not going to hand over tomorrow. That's the same power he's now begging his party people to give it to him. So if you look at all the candidates, Educhum, for instance, a fine gentleman, and I think that Educhum could be a very fine running mate to any of the candidates. But as to what motivated him to be in the race, that is the beauty of democracy. Probably trying to mark his time for the future. some of us are privy to their help. Edichum has given MPP in opposition days. When he came to the education ministry, the kind of legacy he left there, especially the central educational program. And I think that MPP have very fine brains that can lead the party. The challenge is whose pocket is fat. And I think that is what we need to discourage in our body policy.
Certainly.
You remember Adanimo fell off because he felt the money was too much.
That's right.
And I don't know why both political parties are taking these tangents. So people like us who don't have money, if we have the world leader in terms of policies that can put this country somewhere, automatically we are wiped out. And I also want to come to a very important point my good brother Solomon raised.
Right.
If you look at the database of the parties, none of them have membership over 1 million. That is the honest truth. And I'm happy you brought that up. But what does it tell our body policy? It means that the floating voters, they are the people who count the kings. So when you promise and you don't deliver, just remember that you are a goner. Because these people, their fidelity are like some of us to the state. Even though we have political parties we want, our loyalty doesn't lie with them at the expense of the state. So that is what must guide both political parties.
Certainly.
I also want to pass the national executive. You realize that when the 5 aspirants all came to present their nomination forms,
yes,
you didn't see any of the national executives following any of the aspirants. That is a departure from what we have always known. This is what we want to see. Create a level playing field so that whichever candidate emerges as the winner, everybody will understand that indeed the people have spoken and they will all rally behind such a candidate.
Certainly.
But when you put conditions in place to favor a particular candidate, that is where the trouble comes. And the regional chairmen are very guilty of this charge. And I'll plead with the MPP regional chairman to stay away from any of the candidates, even though they have their voting rights. These 5 contestants are all MPP members. They should give everybody a level playing field and allow the delegates to choose whom they so want to lead the party. And finally, with my friend again.
Yes, rounding up for me, please.
I was so hard on His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I don't know, Solo, is Bawumia giving your candidate a headache or what? Yeah. Because we are not talking about the other
Emmanuel is asking whether Dr. Bawumia is giving your candidate a headache. It's only because that's who we started off with. But, of course, as the weeks progress, we'll be getting into some of the other candidates. He says the other candidates shouldn't bother.
Your candidates will want a very vibrant candidate from the other side. It will be end. So I think these are internal context. Let's stop hammering on one particular candidate and just allow the MPP to have their process and give us a candidate. And from there, we can have a very good discussion around them.
Ima, you see, ordinarily, I would have gone with you. But the truth of the matter is that nothing different is going to happen. The 37% you are talking of in the last elections for Canada, Japan, was as a result of 1, Alan had withdrawn. 2, that is the true, the ghost, those that were not ghosts that went to vote. They represent the 37%. There is a huge amount of close to 58 to 60% who are ghosts. They will be determining who wins. So it's not a free and fair election that's going to take place. Hence, the reason I'm telling you that nothing is going to change. And you come back and give me my stone. This one is 31st January. Is that not the case?
Emmanuel, we'll be waiting for you to bring that stone in studio, but I do have to let you go, make room for our next conversation. Always grateful for your perspective. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Emmanuel Kuting is the Executive Director, African Center for Security and Counterterrorism. Let's just take a very quick listen. Let's find out if you're ready to get connected.
The year 2028, DQ will be MPP hands.
Free FM 92.7.
I am
Urban Lifestyle Radio Station.
To vote for Kennedy Japan. Because in the bus, top bus, truck from wherever you go, a market, Ghanaians are crying for Kennedy Japan to leave this country.
Are you ready to get connected? Kennedy Japan says wherever you go. I want to find out whether the gentlemen in studio have heard it. He said in the market, you go to the market. He says go to the trotro station. I know you have your eyes and ears everywhere. Are you hearing people wanting to get connected?
I think that Mr. Kennedy Japan's business acumen and his success on the business front cannot be underestimated. His ability to speak his mind is also not in doubt. However, to be president of the Republic of Ghana, you ought to be measured in most of the cases, and you find that in most of the cases he sounds, forgive my French, like a loose cannon. I would not want to have a president like that, who at the least provocation would, put out all manner of emotions and vituperations. I'm being very honest with you. I want a president who would represent me in the best way, in every way. Look, the problems of this country are that people are looking for jobs. If you make him president, you're most likely to find the jobs. But if we also force the other people to serve us well, you will find jobs. If we insist that President Mahama now should not be concentrating about creating new agencies and what have you and just find us jobs, I'm sure that he will, if we insist, he will find us the jobs. If we insist that he should not be wasting money like we did in Agenda 111, lying to the people that we commissioned some when in fact we did not commission any at all, we will find jobs. If what is happening at the Rich Hospital, for example, you remember that when we were about to have the inauguration ceremony, President Akufo-Addo was asked whether or not he was going to be present. Yeah. You remember? Do you remember what he said? He said, unfortunately, he has to fly out of the country for a medical checkup. This is Agenda 111 telling us that, unfortunately, he has to fly out of the country for a medical checkup. That's a verdict that our system is rubbish. You get the point? Which means that he's telling you that he failed. But he's finding a nice way to say it. We didn't catch that. You get the point? Honestly, if you ask me, I don't want to be connected.
You don't want to get connected?
No. And I'm saying this also on the basis of the fact that I remember that, and recently Mr. Hobson Adoye came to apologize to me. Hobson Adoye, the guy on the 2 TV at the time, is it Anan? Anan and Kennedy Japan. They sat on television, insulted me, made wild claims, said all manner of things about me that were not true. Hobson Adoye came to apologize to me recently. His wife also saw me at KOD's event and with emoji and said, look, he wants to apologize to me, etc. and all of that. So if somebody who can sit on national television to tell blatant lies, right? Yeah. I cannot trust his integrity. He came here for a one-on-one interview with Roland Walker. Yeah. Roland asked him whether or not he knew me. He said he doesn't know me. In fact, on the day when he insulted me on the 2 TV, he said that he was going to provide me suits because I wear Chinese suits. It's been more than 7 years on. He cannot even fulfill that simple promise. How do you trust such an individual? He has no credibility. As for his businesses, he runs them. He employs people. But presidency goes beyond just running businesses. It goes to a certain leadership acumen, beyond being a loose cannon, beyond being, attacking people and insulting people. I will not vote for somebody who can go to an open court and tell a judge that he is whatever. an open call. I cannot vote for such a person. You get the point. If you are president and you cannot respect the judiciary, you cannot respect the media, you cannot respect anybody else, it has to be you or nobody else. I cannot be connected to such a Wi-Fi.
Certainly, Mauna, I wanted to find out from you just in 30 seconds. I give Solomon the final word. Whether you had also heard in the bus stations, in the markets, in the open squares about this Get Connected agenda, and then we wrap up with Solo.
Without a doubt, I mean, in all of the conversations, from all of the analysis, increasingly it looks like he is most preferred in terms of grassroots mobilization and all of that, and in all of the conversation. And I share in the argument Johnny puts forward, but the question when he was speaking, I was asking myself is whether or not the ordinary voter sees through the lenses he sees a lot of these things through. The average Ghanaian voter, yes, we're growing, we're getting more sophisticated and the likes, but sometimes we don't look at things from the prisms in which Johnny is looking at them at. And that's where he tends to want to lay his bed and be able to garner the vote. If he is on that ballot come December 2028, a lot of what Johnny has said is very legitimate. These are legitimate questions which question the character of what our president is supposed to be. But will the Ghanaian consider these in that decision-making process?
Certainly.
And that's what he's banking his hope on, that popularity and the fact that he's been able to do it with his private businesses.
Thank you for that, Mauna. Solo, I wrap up with you on this one in just a minute or so. It's an evolving conversation. We don't know yet if there will be more Flagbearer hopefuls that will throw their hat in the ring. We followed this space keenly, but wrap up for us your thoughts on what has transpired over the last 24 hours.
So I see the MPP trying very hard to destroy themselves. I don't think there will be any outcome apart from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia winning the election and winning it convincingly. That will not mean that majority of the delegates loves him. It only means that they would have intensified their rigging, because there are a lot of ghost names in there who are going to vote against the other aspirants. Again, it is also exposing the party itself as to the extent of damage they caused to this country. If each is accusing the other of having sinned, stolen our money, I believe the Yokos and the OSPs would have even intervened. You understand? They are exposing themselves how deep they dipped into their pockets to dash monies, $1,500 here and there. We must begin to go after the sources of these monies.
Certainly.
You understand? These are eye-openers. GRE. People are paying 4.6 million. You have to go and check whether they have fulfilled their tax obligations. But we take everything for granted. I am not enthused. Whether or not the taxi drivers, the truckers, the market women are yearning for Kennedy Japan, at the end of the day, are they delegates? It will interest you to know that those that are following these people to file nominations here and there, you can barely have more than 1% being delegates. And the first general election is about delegates.
That's
it's about a small number of people who are going to choose for the people of this country to settle on. And we are only 9 months into a new administration. So why the rush? A lot of things are going to happen. Yesterday, I heard him say that already his ideas have been taken and that the NDC promised revocation of LI 2462. You brought the LI 2462. So if you see that one as your campaign promise, then why did you even bring it in the first place? These are issues that we are going to raise as our party in 2028, checkmating the two parties to see whether or not they have been truthful to the people of this country. So it's early days yet, but I don't think that any serious thing will happen to the party. Will still remain in opposition until they go back and do what is right, that is building from the grassroots and then getting the right candidate at the top.
Thank you so much, Solomon Wusu, for your time. It is some 33 minutes past the hour of 9. We go for a quick break. When we come back, we take you to Akwatia, give you the latest on what's happening. It is still the best breakfast show in all of the land. It is still 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7.
Ebusuafo ehiem enuanom edwendwen se na wo beye maami yi
mensa ka 15,000 Ghana cedis every ayofo busumi bia metua 15 cedis pe de ni nyina eboa ya maami yi no
mensuma je 10,000 Ghana cedis every ayofo chain medie 10 cedis na metua free me mommo busumi bia
menko ade misika na amawo ayofo ne se amfa
na se yi nyina na register ayo family cover no na wo kai last a wo de sika to wo mommo so
asa cheka krawo
chese wontua wo ayo ntoboa no se wentua wo ayo family cover sika no busumi bia policy no enye adwuma enti hwese wo ni wadofo bambo no beye adwuma hwese sika be wo momo ne so abri bia na wetumi etua busumi bia entem so pe ayo package a ebeboa wo nenya bambo pa kai se nhihye kakra da ho we ye nhihye free Salam Alliance Life Insurance Ghana Limited.
Ayo, because you care.
Be there for you and your family.
Always busy on the go. Tap the app, you're good to go. Big dreams, little time. There's a boat for you to ride. Every single time, yeah. Morning rush to the late night ride. Work to home and gig to gig. Smooth and easy ride and vibe. Safety toolkit by your side. Use code Keep Moving 50 for 50% off your first 3 rides. Download the boat app now.
The winning season is back, but this time I am collecting the wins in your boo or your favorite barber. Pay with Mumu or card if you are abroad.
One ticket could turn your 1 Ghana cedi into 500 times more, and the whole community could win 10 times over.
Dial *712# or log on.
Let's get lucky together, because luck is everywhere.
Play responsibly, not for persons under 18 years. This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
3FM 92.7 Urban Life.
Mrs. Julius. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Helen.
I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much. I'm very well, thank you. How about you?
We are doing fantastic, of course, counting down to September 2nd when the Akwatia by-elections will take place. How have you found the happening so far? I'm sure you've been monitoring the lead up to this by-election, the NDC and the NPP in a fierce battle. This is in your backyard, as it were. This is where you are from. What can you tell us?
Good morning, Helen. Once again, good morning to your cherished listeners this morning. Yes, as you rightly said, this is my backyard. Akwatia is my hometown, so we are also very interested in the happenings going on come September 2nd. We know clearly that it's one of the biggest, battle between the MPP and the NDC. But we, the citizens or the indigenous, people, what we just want to put across is that both parties should just look at the economic might of Akwatia and what they can do to change the fortunes and then the current destiny of the town. Because that is one of the key things that I believe this by-election should be able to unravel so that we can have a conversation of how we can properly situate the economic challenges, opportunities that Akwatia has got to offer. Helen, as we are aware, Akwatia is one of, the ancient towns we have in the country. And before the 19th or the 20th century, and this dates back to 1920s, when, colonial days, we discovered industrial mines, that is diamond mining in Akwatia. But we've traveled down the line from 1920 to current, days, and we've realized that there has been, lack of development. Everything has been on the decline. In fact, if you look at the issues that have gone on, it's not something that is really, really good for us. So we just want to appeal to government, appeal to opposition parties that we shouldn't just use these by-elections as just going to vote for voting sake, and then at the end of the day we move back or out of the town. Government should study whatever is going on in Akwatia, and then if possibly look to, come up, bring to upstream the company, which is then GC, the Ghana Consolidated Diamond, which are diversified and then, now is back to government. So we just want to promote peace and then also make sure that there would not be any violence coming September 2nd.
Right.
I believe that the polls are going on, but we just want to, try to put the focus on Akwatia for government to look at what they can do to change the fortunes of Akwatia using these by-elections.
Certainly. Now, when you zoom into Akwatia, what would you say are the main concerns of the residents there? What are they really looking for? Of course, I'm sure, as many of us are, development, roads, but what are the specific challenges, would you say, confronting the people of Akwatia?
Right, so Helen, it's been jobs. It's been jobs and jobs and jobs. Akwatia, if not this by-election, used to be like a ghost town. If you go to Akwatia on a normal day, clearly you will not see most people around. I don't know if this by-election. Previously, it wasn't like that. The major source of employment, major source of business used to be the trading of diamonds. And if you go to Akwatia, there's a huge market, like the market we used to have in Accra. People are just doing buying and selling of diamonds. They sell it like selling tomatoes on tables. And that was a major source of employment for our youth over there. Even our grandfathers, our fathers, that's all what they did. And, you don't even have to do deep mining. It was just a shallow mining. Sometimes when it rains, diamonds will just come out of the ground for our people to pick and sell. But we have not been able to take care of these benefits that the town was blessed with, and we've lost everything. So the major concern is jobs. And, using the mining company has a very huge asset, a very huge land. That government can look at it and then make sure that they can turn it over and to create certain kind of job for our people. As currently speaking, most of the work that people are doing these days is mining, and the mining is what is really providing some form of alternative employment for them. and we all have or know the issues with, mining irresponsibly and then having impact on the environment that government is really fighting for. So if it's something that we have to find a proper policy to be able to appeal to the youth over there, there's nothing that they can do apart from the mining that is currently, and these are individual mining that they do. The government don't really come in. Is there the artisanal mining? But there is that company, Ghana Consolidated Diamonds. It was diversified to Great Consolidated Ghana Limited under the Just One group of companies, but management of the whole company did not go well. So a government took it back over. There was an interim management committee, and then later government now is currently under SIGA. So everything over the place is mining, but government should be able to do more and then create that jobs. If we're able to revive the company, get investors to come and invest in the company for now, I believe they can promote or give some form of employment for our people. But in the medium to long term, we are looking at how we can do other things, agriculture, so that we can encourage the youth to go into farming. There is cocoa farming in the area, the surrounding towns of the place. People can look into that instead of the mining that they are doing over the place and then to some extent degrading the environment and all that. So going into this by-election hugely may be source of employment for our local people over there, and government or whatever opposition party, whatever policy they want to bring on board should target job creation and employment for the area for our people.
Certainly. And thank you for that interesting perspective there, Julius. Now, you were talking about peace at the start of the conversation. Are there any threats that you are hearing of on the ground? We know in the lead up to this coming by election, there's been talk of, well, we'll match you boot for boot, and we also have our men on the ground. Want to find out if there's any intel that you have picked that is currently happening in Akwatia, and also if there are any hotspots that you could alert security personnel to. What will these hotspots be?
I think that Akwatia is just, a very strange town. We are one people, both the NDC and the MPP. It's just a community that we know everybody. For now, there hasn't been any hotspot for people that will want to create chaos coming September 2nd for the by-elections. But it is also important that we give the notices and then we put public publicity when it comes to peace for the elections. Because we are one people, we know all of ourselves. We know ourselves in the town. And then both MPP and NDC are one. The reason I'm saying is that it's an indigenous town. Our brothers, our sisters, our aunties, some of them, one house, you see people are NDC, same people, you find MPP there. And the way we do politics in Akwatia is not so intense like we see at the national level. The boiling point will just come, but you see that at the end of the day, both the NDC and the NPP will come together. Personally, I know the NDC, they are constituency chairman. I know the MPP, and we are all one people. We all grew up together. So the government or the police administration should look at how closely we are related, because we are one people, so that, like just as you said, the police is our friend. When they go to the area, they should know that both the NDC and then the MPP are one-blooded people, and there shouldn't be any confusion that just by elections we'll be able to fight ourselves. I believe that will not happen. If there will be any traces of violence, it will be coming from outside, people that will be going into the community or going into the town. But we have lived as a people, we know ourselves, and we know that we will not go to that extent. I personally grew up there. I've witnessed about 4 election cycles, and at a certain point we go for jogging together. You see MPP team will come and pass, we all join. You see NDC team will come and pass, we all join, because we are one people and we are family. Akwatia is a family town. So I believe that it's going to be very easy for the police administration to handle the peace and then usually the violence that is being characterized with by elections. If anything, it is going to be those that will be coming into the town. So the police should look at people entering into the community, those that are coming, moving from Accra and all walks of life to come to Akwatia. They should properly screen them and scan them and know what they are going to do when they enter into the community, and they want to cause any violence. The intelligence on the ground is that they should just relate with the community people, and then we'll face all those people out. So I believe that we'll have violence-free elections come second, because Akwatia is just one people, and then, we are living peacefully. But while they do the checking of the external people that will be coming there, those that will fuel the violence and attack and send people to go and snatch ballot boxes, and then also try to create chaos by averting the electioneering procedures, that is where the police should be able to pay attention to, and everything will be fine.
Certainly, we're told of increased police presence in the Akwatia area. Is that something that is being felt currently in the community?
Yes, I've been monitoring all the news, the local news platforms, and then the local bloggers that, are situated in the community. And I've seen that a lot of, police vehicles, buses, increased police, patrolling in the community. That is fine. And sometimes when you see the reactions from, our people, what they just say is that, it's just a normal thing. Because Akwatia have seen some of these things before. So we know that, yes, it's good for the election. National and the government will have to take care of their responsibilities, because anything can happen, and we don't want to give or leave anything that will, cause chaos. So on the side of the police administration, increasing, patrolling and then presence is fine. We've seen them that clearly security have been beefed up, and it's something that if you go there and then you cause chaos, I believe that the police will have to do something with you. They move into the market centers. The market women are interacting very well. Everybody is happy for these by-elections. People want to exercise their franchise. People want to come out to come and vote. In fact, the interests have really got a shot up, unlike the 2024 general elections.
Right.
And we believe that with these characteristics that we have seen, the elections will come out of one of the best elections. And at the end of the day, the difficulties and the challenges that Akwatia have had over the time will be able to have some solutions to it. Let's not forget that we have one of the best performing secondary school in St. Joseph's Senior High School. We have one of the best hospitals in Akwatia in St. Dominic's Hospital. These are one of the best performing infrastructure serving the educational and health needs of our people. And we don't want to have anything that will destroy the peace and tranquility of the area, which will affect some of these infrastructures, and then the integrity that the town has got to offer the nation, because it has served the country. St. Rose's has served the country for about since 1965. St. Dominic's Hospital, currently a referral hospital, has served the country since 1960. And these are private initiatives that really went into Akwatia. They saw the potential in Akwatia, and they did this investment. So we don't want to have these elections to muddy whatever integrity this infrastructure has got to serve the country. And at the end of the day, Akwatia will be a shining town, the shining community we used to know. And what we are promoting is that this by-elections, by the grace of God, should bring development, should bring businesses, and then also make sure that we get more jobs for our youth.
Very well said. Julius, thank you so much for your time this morning, and for
thank you so much for the opportunity.
Bringing your perspective to bear as a native of Akwatia. You've given us some very interesting education this morning. Julius Jima is the Executive Director, Center for Economic and Financial Analysis. Let's also connect now with Rashid Tanko Computer, NDC's Deputy Director of Elections. Good morning.
Good morning, dear. How are you?
I am doing great. How are you doing this morning?
I'm terrific.
Okay, it sounds like you're in good spirits. I know that it's a very busy morning for you indeed, so we won't take up too much of your time, but we do want to find out how are preparations ongoing towards next Tuesday come the Akwatia by-elections?
Very well. We are prepared for the election come Tuesday. All our teams are on the ground. Indeed, we started training our officers on Wednesday. And then yesterday, we were able to train all of them in the zones. And then everything is set. Our deployment plan is set. All our materials for monitoring and then observation, everything is set in the constituency. We are not surprised with the current polls indicating we taking the lead of 53%. It's a mark of confidence with what we have done over the week. I mean, because we came in late, we're still mourning our dead, so we didn't start our campaign early. We started late, but we managed to turn the tide against our opponent and we've taken the lead. We are grateful. We are working. We are still working until victory is declared.
Are you satisfied with the security personnel and the security arrangements that have been made in lieu of next Tuesday? We had the IGP talk some 2 weeks ago or so about the Black Maria. He says that they're going to be vigilant, and for the parties, he says he doesn't want to hear any phone calls from either side if any of your men are nabbed. Are you happy with that directive?
Well, we are happy with their deployment strategy. We met them. I was in the meeting at the police headquarters to meet the Election Security Task Force, and they gave us their deployment plan and strategy. We're satisfied. We've pledged our support for them and indicate that we rely on the state security to make sure that we have a peaceful election on the D-Day. We have confidence in them, the police. I mean, we've worked with them during our opposition days at a Kumawu by-election and a North by-election. We didn't have any challenge. We went through the process peacefully, and everything went on well. So we don't have any cause to doubt the competence of the police as is structured to carry out a very peaceful process. On the ground, we are with them. I mean, you see there are a lot of roadblocks, and then barriers have been mounted, and they are searching everybody. My car has been searched 3 times since yesterday. I mean, they know me. Everybody knows me very well. But it didn't stop them from searching. I mean, they have to. We all agree to that. And so I have to allow them to do their work. And as we speak now, the place is very peaceful. The people are going about their business without any interference for anybody. Everything is going on well. It's just the difficulty we have is that our opponents are in Accra holding press conferences upon press conference, talking about issues which are not on the ground. That is our problem.
In fact, I was going to ask my final question of you, because I hear from the NPP, they make some serious allegations that you are training men seriously to foment trouble in the Akwatia by-elections. Mr. Computer, how do you respond to that?
That's why I'm saying that they sit in Accra. Instead of them to come to Akwatia, they are in Accra holding press conferences and hyping tension, causing fear and panic. I just told you, we did training on Wednesday. We had a DIPAC meeting in the morning with the Electoral Commission, and we started our training. You can't go into election without training your party agents who are going to man the polling stations. That has been the bane of we have with these people. You see, their problem is that they don't train their officers. We invest a lot in training party agents to those who will go and man. And interesting enough, I'm the one leading the training, in charge of operation on that election directorate. And that very day, Wednesday, the day they held the press conference, I took pictures of our trainings and put them on my timeline. The people were there, videos, holding pink sheets, going through the training. Then you will sit in Accra and say, we are training tax. What kind of training tax in churches, in classrooms, public places?
Thank you so much.
The problem we have with them, they will train their people, then on the D-Day, they will zoom into the constituency and come and be causing confusions at the polling station because they will not understand certain basic things about elections.
We're grateful for your time this morning.
And the lady who caused that thing and they beat her up was because she came there, was asking very ignorant questions. Excuse my language.
You're talking about Hawa Kumsin, who came with pepper spray?
Hawa Kumsin. She came asking questions about why is it that we have only one polling agent here? Why are we not having two? She didn't even know that it's a parliamentary election. In parliamentary election, you are sending only one party agent at each of the polling stations. One. It is only two when we have 2 elections, parliamentary and presidential. So ostensibly, they have not trained her to understand that we were doing parliamentary election. So she just came in ignorantly and was asking ignorant questions and throwing her weight around. That is the behavior of NPP leadership.
Well, we certainly hope for a much different outcome this time round. Thank you so much for your time.
Press on them that as NDC is training their party agents, you, the media, should also push it to them that they should also train their party agents and train their party officials. So that they shouldn't come and be asking questions that will create problems on the police stations.
We'll be keeping an eye out on all the happenings and wishing you a fantastic weekend. We'll connect definitely by next week as things heat up in Akwatia. Thank you so much for your time once more. Grateful also that we're speaking there with Rashid Tanko Computer. He's the NDC's Deputy Director of Elections. Only a minute to go until we're bidding you farewell. It's time for us to get into some birthdays. If it is your birthday today, we're wishing you a fantastic one indeed.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday.
All right, we have some supersonic birthdays to protect this morning. Supersonic indeed. Our first birthday wish going out. Let's get the picture up. Let's get you know this individual.
Christiana Archery.
I wanted to start with this one.
The Honorable.
Yes.
Daniel Nikwate Titus Glover.
The one and only.
The one and only. The Honorable Daniel Nikwate Titus Glover. He's a former member of parliament, former minister, former deputy minister. Now he is eyeing the NPP's national organizer position.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, I think he will make a very fine national organizer.
He's got a very good following, a passionate following. Those that love him really love him.
That's right. And he speaks so well. His objective, I think. And he's also a very good organizer, a people's person.
Yeah.
So the Honorable Daniel Nikwate Titus Glover.
Happy birthday from all of us here. Also, another one going out to Emmanuel. Happy birthday going out to Emmanuel. Today is your day. This message comes from your loved ones, also from us here. Do have a wonderful day. And then we have another one. This one came from Crosby.
This is the one that has caused trouble. This is from Crosby. Noble Crosby. Okay. They recently married Noble Crosby. It's to Christiana Archery. May God bless your new age from you. It's Crosby number. I'm only stating facts and figures. Facts, yeah. They recently
he's not the only person who is wishing a happy birthday for this particular...
DJ Abiam, Sixtus John Ulo, Francis.
I didn't have to even say much. The other birthdays, they didn't join their voice. So this is the birthday that they want to join their voice.
And even Frederick Kunzutiani, who is not here.
He's innocent.
Yeah.
He's innocent,
hey,
please.
Christy.
He's innocent.
Yeah.
Christiana, it's your day today.
Here? Does Christy work here?
Don't worry.
No, I want to.
Don't worry. Can't worry.
Christiana Archery.
Christiana, it's your day today.
But the seats, but you do photo shoots
yes,
as well.
Please.
What's the seat called? This seat?
Oh, this one. Normally you see it as sittings. So.
It's called sittings.
Yeah, no, you find the sittings.
Sittings for the settings.
Sittings for the settings. Get me. Oh, this is the time where we bid you farewell and make way for that news update at 10. Of course, it is Funky Friday. Myself and AJ Akwaku Sapon, we're bringing you something very exquisite today. Trust me, you don't want to tune off at all. We have some exclusive music for you. Think of it as a private listening party today. Oh la la, you know how we get on Friday mornings. Please stick with us. But it's been a fantastic week. We're so grateful for your company all throughout the week. We cannot do this without you. Our resident biter has been biting this week. Of course, next week, the teeth will be sharpened. We'll see you there. My name is Helen Johnnie here with the one and only Johnny Hughes. And on behalf of the rest of the amazing Sunrise crew, we're wishing you